Hey, everybody, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Relentless Potential podcast with me, Andrew Schubauer, your host, owner, and founder of Mountain Wisdom LLC. Today, I want to talk to you about effort. We talk about developing relentless potential, and most of this podcast is going to be about how to develop that potential, how to recoup energy, and finding energy balance. But the reason we want to work on our potential is so we can put it into action. Without the action, what's the point of a whole bunch of potential, right? Now, in my coaching program, I have a philosophy. It's a mantra, it's my motto, and it's effort for a purpose. We each have purpose in our lives, whether we realize it or not. Right? And I want to qualify that I think there's two types of purpose. One is big P purpose. Right? It's the larger purpose, our larger purpose, what we really want to do, what we really want to strive for, what the ultimate goal is for me and for what I want for my clients is fulfillment. Fulfillment in the moment and fulfillment long term. I want my clients to be able to look back at their life and say what I did was meaningful to me and they're proud of what they accomplished. They don't feel that they've wasted their life, and they don't feel like they've been a slave to it either. Right? For you, it can be whatever it needs to be. There's a lot of purposes out there, and they're all based on our values and beliefs. But today's topic is really about the effort, right? Purpose drives that effort. Purpose gives clarity. And that's what I want to talk about. So another thing about being relentless in our potential is being aware of what we're moving towards. Angela Duckworth, now famous for her book Grit. If you read the cover of it, what does it say? The science of passion and perseverance, right? Passion, desire, love, effort. Every effort you commit to should be moving you forward in a direction that you wanted to. Now, it doesn't always mean that it's your choice, right? It doesn't always mean that you're putting in effort in something that you would have independently chosen outside of other external factors. But it does mean that you're making that choice and you're putting your effort towards something with intention. And when we do that, it's actually a great way to prevent energy dissipation or entropy in our path. Right? Because the unfortunate reality is when it comes to kinetic energy, we do run out because we are human. There's a lot of things we can do through diet, nutrition, sleep, cognitive tools that we can utilize to make sure that we're maximizing the energy that we're able to access. However, at the end of the day, we do have the same 24 hours in the day. And our bodies and our minds can become depleted, right? That's why, in general, energy balance is so important. So maintaining that, because you can get really drained and keep going, but it's just blank misery. It's like driving. If you've ever been really tired and you've driven, all of a sudden you didn't crash, but you were like 15 miles down the road, and you're like, oh my God, how did that happen? Well, it happened because you were so worn out that the memory parts of your brain were like, you're not really re needed right now. So our brain shut those down. Right. But because our energy, our kinetic output is finite. Now, I don't mean finite as in we can't increase it over time because you can, right? Through a lot of different things, training, skill, we can develop, we can increase our ability to output, we can increase our endurance, right? But at each level, we're still going to have a certain amount. Each day, we're going to have a certain amount. that can vary. So it's very important to be intentional with that energy. We want to make sure that we are putting our energy towards something that gives us output and that we are being intentional about it. If not, think about it as the same as if you had, if you put a bunch of energy into your body with zero direction, your brain wasn't doing anything to move your body in a direction. Right? You just put energy in and your muscles were just moving. Right? Where does that get you? Nowhere. You're flopping around. You're wasting energy. You're expending that energy, but it's not really producing anything of value and worth. Whereas if you decide on a task, you give your body a task, like walking or running or something super fun like cleaning or what, right? Whatever it is, we give ourselves a task and we can move towards it. Right? All of a sudden, we start teaching our body, and as we put in that effort, we can focus on that effort and refine it until we get better and better at something, right? We develop muscle memory. Well, the same thing can be done with cognitive tasks, right? Any skill, any task that needs to be done, we can slowly improve, right? And we slowly reduce that energy dissipation. And there is a time to just try things. But even when you're just trying things, that's the intention, right? You're going into it with the understanding of, I don't know what the exact outcome is. I know what I want to see, but because I haven't done this before, I'm not guaranteeing what's going to happen, but I'm putting my energy towards it. There's still an intention. The intention is to explore and figure out and discover. And once you find the path you want on, then you can direct yourself, right? You can choose the right way to do things. Yeah. So, unfortunately, because energy management is so important, because it is finite, it's not worth it to just try things, go through your day without intention, without purpose, because all that you're doing is you're taking your potential and you're losing it. Now, again, there is a time to have fun. We need to have fun. We need to have that balance. But again, we can do that intentionally. And intentionality, I want to be really clear, is not rigidity. Right? When you hone a skill, say athletic skills, look at athletes. They're more agile, they're more lithe, they're not rigid. I mean, sure, bodybuilders, certain things can do that, right? But in general, you gain more adaptability as you develop your skills and you refine those skills because you're better able to targetedly direct your energy. So when you're moving through your days, when you're putting in that effort, I want it to have meaning. I want you to ask yourself every day, where am I putting my energy? Where does my energy need to go? Now, it can be something tangible, it can be something mental. Maybe your energy needs to go into recovery, right? Maybe your energy needs to go into production. And if you want to access a couple quick things before I end this podcast, I'm going to end a little shorter, but a couple of quick things before I end this podcast on ways to up your effort with less resistance is for one, get that purpose, but get passionate about it. Think about the outcomes. How can they stack? What is the outcome of this goal? Sure, it can do whatever the initial goal is, but there can be additional motivations. Like, how can it blossom? How can your results blossom out of it? Like, if you accomplish a 5K, yes, you accomplished a 5K run, but what did you also do? You proved to yourself that you could do something. You increased your self-esteem. You maybe leveled up the belief of what's possible. Maybe you got a new PR. Maybe you can get a new PR. Right? Maybe you earn the snacks at the end, and that's worth it. I've been on more than my fair share of beer runs, even though I don't drink. We all know how popular they are if you're in that running community. right? That's another reward, and it pushes people to show up and do more. But you can stack your happiness on there. Well, that's one really important thing. The other thing is you can consolidate before you begin. So getting yourself centered, amping yourself up, like getting really focused on what you're about to do, especially on the really hard tasks, because hard tasks are gonna show up, right? There are gonna be hard things when you do have to do maximal output, but you can do things, you can focus, you can shut things out, you can breathe, like I know that looks really great on camera, right? But it works. It amps your body up. It stimulates your body. And that's another thing you can do. You can warm up when you're about to put in serious effort. Warm up, prime your body for what you're about to do. And the fourth thing is sometimes when you're really pushing, just like how your brain shuts off, you can do that as well. Depending on the task, maybe reduce stimulus. Stimulus reduction is a key. I work out and sometimes I'm super tired and it's super hard to push. And what I actually need, because I'm more likely to do something wrong, is my muscles fatigue, is I'll close my eyes and I will focus more fully. Or sometimes I'll even put earbuds in because they're noise canceling even without sound. And I'll cut out as much distraction as possible because what I'm really doing is I'm cutting out sensory input that my brain has to interpret, which is energy. And I'm able to focus more in the senses that matter. I'm able to focus more on how my body is aligning, how I can control that weight. And there are times where that's what we need to do. We need to really limit distraction. All these things can help up the energy and your output in the moment, but it all means nothing if you're not doing it for a clear purpose. And at the end, all that you can say is, yeah, I did it, but I don't know if it helped me at all. I don't know if it got me anywhere. Because if not, yes, you can recoup your potential. No, your potential hasn't stopped, but you have lost time. You have wasted to a degree energy. Again, it's not a final thing. It doesn't determine how your life will turn out. And again, when you're exploring, it may be necessary, but the more you want out of life, the more that focus and the more that purpose is going to be important. This week, what I ask is that every morning you ask, how do you need to show up today? And what do you need to show up for? And move in alignment with that. Thanks.